So I saw Jurassic World Rebirth. Now I was really excited for this. I actually really like it was as a director. Like I love We're Going to Star Wars stories. The only Disney Star Wars movie that I love. That's my like don't the only Disney Star Wars movie that I love that I put there was no Star Wars trilogy. I actually love this guy's little movie from 2014. It's my favorite Monsterverse movie. I thought the creator was decent. Like I enjoyed that movie, but it's not great or anything. But to me, this is the first movie of his I did not like at all. I was not a fan of Jurassic World Rebirth. Like I love there was no Jurassic Park movie. One of my favorites all the time. That's like that movie's fantastic. And I don't think any of the sequels have been anywhere near the quality of the first Jurassic Park movie. To me, this was another bad one. Like I didn't like the last two, and I'll be honest, I don't think this is much better than the last two Jurassic World movies with Fallen Kingdom and Dominion. When we get into the positives with this movie, I can see some people having fun with this movie if you're just looking for a dinosaur movie where you have dinosaurs eating people. I can totally understand that. But like personally for me, I want more out of that than just a dinosaur movie eating people. So like I said, I can see people having fun with this movie if you're just looking for that. But I feel like with the original Jurassic Park movie, it shows you can do more than that with this franchise when it comes to compelling story and characters you care about. But I'll say one positive about this movie is that I do think there are moments where it felt like there was a little bit of horror that I liked, but at the same time, this is a negative where I feel like they didn't go far enough with it. There's like little moments of horror. I was like, oh man, I think you could have gone forward with the horror element in this movie, and that was one of the things I was hoping that we get a lot of in the when I was seeing the trailers for this. So I would say that's one little positive is that there was moments where I was like, I felt like you could see that when dinosaurs felt scary a little bit again, but at the same time I felt like you could have gone farther with the horror elements in this movie when it comes to like moments in this movie. And I think the cast is fine for what they're given to do. I don't think anybody gives a bad performance in this movie, but one of the negatives out of this movie is the characters. So we get into that. And it's a very it's a well shot movie. Production wise, CGI wise, CGI looks great in this movie. I have a problem with the CGI. Production wise, it's a well shot movie. Garrett Edwards does a pretty good job when it comes to feeling the scale of how big the dinosaurs are. But that's really about it. There's so many problems I have with this movie. And I don't really think it's that much better than the last two, personally. The first negative with this movie is that the opening, I think, is dumb. Like, there's a lot of goofy, silly moments in this movie. And the opening is one of the stupidest moments in this movie. Like, how this D West gets out, these mutant dinosaurs that are like, where they cross DNA and they have kind of no more mutations, and you have the big one, the D West. How how he gets out of this research factory is just so stupid. You have this guy in a suit eating I think it's like a Snickers candy bar, and the wrapping paper falls to the ground. It goes into the like into this tube that's part of the factory that they're in. This research center gets sucked up, and I gotta say this. That felt like something you see in Final Destination, which was weird to me. I was like, okay, and it also felt like really blatant advertisement for like Snickers, or I think it was a Snickers bar, but it gets blown into the tube, and the whole research center shuts down just from that, which I think is so stupid and goofy. I'm just like, really? This is how this mutated dinosaur D West, I think that's what it's called, gets out. And this was a great example of the horror thing where I'm like, there's a little bit of horror there, and then it gets taken away, and it's like you don't see it. So that's what I meant by like not them going. I feel like you could have gone forward with the horror, but just don't like. That's an example of like a silly moment to me. I'm like, really, this is the thing that sets off the incident. The plot, I don't think is very good. I actually think the plot's pretty like I don't have a problem with the idea of going with a basic plot, trying to go back to basics a little bit, but the plot just isn't very interesting in this movie. I thought And just like I said, that setup with the resource factory center, I thought was just stupid with the Snickers wrapper that shuts down the whole system. That's how the DOS gets out. Also, I want to say this: that like I don't know what is with these Jurassic World movies, but they keep not wanting to do the whole plot line of dinosaurs, people living with dinosaurs in the world, which I feel like could have been an interesting story. Like I remember Fallen Kingdom ends with them getting loose, and then Dominion becomes a whole plot about those insects where it doesn't even like they avoid doing the plot of dinosaurs, people how dinosaurs would be on how like the dinosaurs would affect the world if you had dinosaurs around in the world and how like people living with dinosaurs and they keep avoiding that plot, which I think could have been an interesting plot. Like you could have done a Planet of the Apes type of thing with Jurassic after Fallen Kingdom, and they keep not wanting to do that plot. So I don't understand that. Because to me, that's an interesting story you could do, and they keep not wanting to do it in these Jurassic World movies. So that annoys me. Like the beginning of the movie, they're like, "Oh, dinosaurs are dying off. They can't live in all climates. They're going because of ecosystems. So they're going to certain tropical locations where they have to live there because they're dying off." I'm just like, I don't understand why this fan site just seems to not want to do like a Planet of the Apes type of style Jurassic movie where you have like showing the effects of people living with dinosaurs in the world. Which I feel like like I said, that was one of the issues I had with Dominion. Fallen Kingdom set that up, and they keep avoiding wanting to do a plot. And I feel like you have an interesting story right there. So the whole idea of dinosaurs are dying off, I felt was just lazy. Just I wasn't a fan of that choice, and I just don't understand them wanting to avoid that plot. It just to me, I'm just not a fan of that like choices in a movie where you're already like going like, oh, dinosaurs are dying off. I also don't like this whole idea in these Jurassic World movies of like people not being interested in dinosaurs anymore, which I think is just dumb too. Like in the first Jurassic World movie, I thought it was handled fine. It made sense in that movie. They're talking about like we gotta make them dinosaurs bigger because people are losing interest in dinosaurs. So we're like putting DNAs together and crossing DNAs, creating these like new dinosaurs. But in these world movies, they keep like hammering it down. People are interested in dinosaurs, and I find that so unbelievable. Because first of all, these movies make money, and also I look at a zoo as an example. People don't get tired of going to the zoo though. In a real world, people constantly go to the zoo, constantly go see like lions and monkeys and different animals. People don't get tired of that. I don't understand this whole plot point in these Jurassic World movies that keep hammering it down that people aren't interested in dinosaurs anymore. I just find that completely unbelievable and not. I don't like buy that into that at all. In the real world, people will still be excited to see dinosaurs. So that plot point in these Jurassic World movies, I'm just not a fan of. And they just keep hammering it down in these movies, and I just don't find that believable. And then there's just a lot of stupid moments in this movie. There's one moment which is the raft sequence, which apparently is a sequence from the original book they kept trying to put in these Jurassic films. And that could have been a cool sequence, but there's two elements of that sequence that just is silly to me. When a girl goes up to this raft to get this raft from this family, that you because this one of the negatives another negatives about this movie is that there's like this movie feels like you have two plot lines going on. You have one plot line that feels like the Jurassic Park 3 plot, and then you have Scarlett Johansson's team needing to get DNA from these three dinosaurs to bring back to help the world when it comes to medical like issues and like stuff like that. And the movie just feels like it has two different plot lines going on with two different groups. And personally, in my opinion, you could have cut out the family out of this movie. You did not need the family in this movie. Like, just if you want, like, I also understand why this family was out in the ocean when the dinosaurs are like you have dinosaurs in the ocean now. I just don't get that. That just seems kind of like dumb to me. But you have this one moment where the daughter is going up to get the raft, and you have a sleeping T-Rex there, and she decides to open the raft right next to the sleeping T-Rex. Just so freaking stupid to me. Like, just take the raft. Like, you could have had her just sneak away, take the raft down, open it, and then she looks and the T-Rex is gone. But a moment like that just takes me out of that moment. 'Cause I'm just like, this is just this character making stupid decision, and it just comes off dumb and silly to me. And also at the end of that sequence when the one daughter, the younger daughter, is underneath the raft and she's coming towards the family in the water. I find this is another thing I really hated, and this is maybe nitpick. The T-Rex puts his mouth on it, and somehow it can't break this raft, this floating raft with its teeth when it goes down on it. That might be a nitpick, but that was another thing. That was another one. I was like, oh my god, this is so this is plot armor in a just stupid way to me. Where it's just like you're telling me the T-Rex teeth didn't pop a hole in that raft when it put its teeth on it. So that to me I thought was stupid. Characters making dumbass decisions. You have a moment where the boyfriend of the daughter, the family, goes off to take a piss on an island full of dinosaurs. Why would you go off to take a piss go off by yourself? And also his character, the boyfriend of the daughter in this movie, I really couldn't stand his character. I know that the daughter's you have a dog going oh you don't know him like I do, when she's talking to the dad and he has a reason for why he's so lazy and annoying, but I was just like, please, somebody kill this character. I couldn't stand his character. Towards the end, they're trying to do a whole plot line where it's just an act, and he's not really like that. But you didn't own that, in my opinion, in this movie. You made him unlikable, and there's a way to do that plot line and execute it well. But I felt like it was poorly handled. I didn't like his character. I was like, he was the character I wanted the most to die. And the family, I just didn't care for them. They were just not very interesting characters. Like I said, you could have cut them out of this movie, and to me, you didn't need this plot in the movie. It got annoying. They kept cutting back between two different groups, and I was like, just focus on one plot. So I think there's too many characters in this movie too. And then with Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali, I love them as actors. And from what I heard, Scarlett Johansson is a big fan of the Jurassic Park movie. Those characters didn't do anything for me either. And you also have the guy from Wicked, which I'm forgetting his name. But, Jonathan Bailey, where he plays a panthologist, I hope I'm saying that right. Jonathan Bailey, Wesley, and Scarlett Johansson, their characters are just not interesting to me. I didn't care about any of them either. And there's a moment on the boat where Scarlett Johansson's character, this is the only moment you get any type of character moment with her and Mahershala Ali where they talk about the backstories, but it's done in such a clunky and random way where I'm like, talking about this now? And then they don't go anywhere after that moment. It's just very clunkily done, and that's the only moment where you get a little insight into these characters. But after that, it's these characters just don't, the cast is doing fine what they're giving, but they don't giving anything to really work with in this movie. Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey. The characters aren't interesting to me. And then one moment they try to go into Scarlett Johansson's character's backstory by some random person she lost in her last mission or last job. It's clunkily done, and it's one moment of exposition, and they don't do anything with it after that moment. It just feels like they're trying to make you care in that moment, but it's not coming off natural or organic, and that's the only little character moment you get with these characters. So the characters to me I thought were flat, uninteresting, and also Scarlett Johansson, great actress. I did not buy her as a mercenary in this movie. I was like, really, she's supposed to be a mercenary? I was just like, she doesn't really come off like one to me at all. And she doesn't really seem like she's all that great of a job at times. So I just didn't really care for a character. Her performance is fine, but Mahershala Ali, Jonathan Bailey, they don't give it anything interesting to do with their characters. There's also a lot of moments in this movie where it feels like it's just copy and pasting scenes from the original, but not done as well. Like there's a moment where Scarlett Johansson and Jonathan Bailey's character Marcelly are all looking up at the Spinosaurus. There's two Spinosaurus that are mating, and I'm just like, you're just copying the scene from the original movie where I Grant and I can't remember the actress who played Grant's love interest in that movie, but where they're looking up to the Brontosaurus and they have a sense of wonder, and you have the score playing and everything. That's a great moment in that original movie, done so much better than how it's done in this movie, where it just feels like you're being lazy, and it just doesn't have the wonderful magic of that moment when you just like you awe that moment in the original movie. There's even a scene in this movie with these mutated velociraptors that can fly, where the families in this like convenience store, and it's going around, and there's like a shot where you see his foot. And I'm just like, this just pretty much feels like the kissing scene with the raptors from the first Jurassic Park movie. It's a convenience store, and it's not done as well. So it just like, and there's even a moment where Marcel's character shoots up a flare when he's like distracting the D-West. I'm like, you're just copying and pasting scenes from the original. This movie does nothing new with the Jurassic franchise. That's one of the problems I have with this movie, is that it does nothing new at all. It's just copy and pasting scenes from the original. The plot's not interesting. The characters are flat. I didn't care about any of the characters. It feels like two different movies. There's times where it's trying to be funny and the humor just completely misses in this movie for me. There's a lot of stupid ass decisions characters make that I was like, I wasn't a fan of. And also the D West in this movie, you could have had any dinosaur in this movie be the main, like, I guess, main threat. The D-West is barely in this movie. It's in the opening, and then it disappears, and you don't see it until the very end. So I feel like you could have had any dinosaur replace the D-West in this movie and wouldn't change anything about the plot. Like, the D-West is barely seen in this movie. It's like, if you're gonna do mutated dinosaurs, then show them more in the movie. Like, you look at the original Jurassic Park movie, the raptors are a constant threat throughout the movie. You feel the dangers of the T-Western raptors in that movie. Even go to Jurassic Park 2, which is a movie that I don't think is very good or great, but I have fun with that movie. The Spinosaurus in that movie, which is a new threat, you see it constantly throughout the movie at certain points. The D-West is literally only in the opening of this movie and the very end of the movie. I'm also not a fan of the look of the D-West in this movie. I actually do like the look of the mutated like raptors that can fly. I actually like the way they look, and I would say this is one of the positives I got to point out, is that I like this sequence with the Spinosaurus in the ocean. I thought that was a actually cool, fun action sequence. And I actually like how these Spinosaurus in the ocean look. But I feel like they could have done more with the mutated D-West in this movie, where I feel like you don't really use it at all except for the opening and end, and it just disappears for a lot of chunk of the movie. And like I said, I'm just not a fan of the way the D-West looks in this movie. It just looks goofy to me. And look, I don't problem doing mutated dinosaurs. It's just they don't really do anything with that idea in this movie. So it just feels like you could have put in any dinosaur in this movie and it wouldn't change. Like if you put any dinosaur and replace the D-West, it doesn't change the plot. I'm also not a fan of how there's like one scene this is then one of the most messing earlier with the boyfriend going off to take a piss, where you see two raptors like coming behind him, and you see those raptor flying ones like come down and grab one of them, and the other one runs away. I wasn't a fan of how the raptors were kind of like, you only get one moment of raptors in this movie, and they get taken out by one of these new mutated dinosaurs easily. I was like, really? I was like, no, like as somebody who loves the Raptors, and obviously the T-West too, I feel like the Raptors were treated kind of like shit in that one moment in this movie, and they aren't even seen again after that moment. So I wasn't really a fan of that choice. So overall, I think this movie's just bad. Like I said, the ocean sequence, I think that's a fun action sequence. There are moments where it feels like you see a little bit of all, but they don't go far enough with it. But when it comes to writing and not having interesting characters and the plot not being very interesting and we feeling like two plot lines going on and just a lot of stupid ass decisions by characters like the boyfriend I don't like. It's just it's oh, and also Marcel Ali. I know originally he was supposed to die his character at the end. It was revealed by the director. Like the moment where he distracts the D West so Scarlett Johansson and the family can get on a boat and get away, and you see a flare goes up and they go and pick him back up. I was like, that is so unbelievable that he survived in that moment. The D West is literally in front of him when he's in front of a tree in the wallow, and you're telling me somehow he got out of there and survived. The D West was literally right in front of him. I was like, this like just so stupid to me. It's just that was unbelievable. I was just like, really? You tell me he somehow got away at the end there? I didn't find that believable at all. I just felt like you would just like there's a lot of just convenient plot conveniences in this movie. I was just like, oh, okay, just yeah. This is a movie I just did not like. Like I said, I can see some people having fun with this if you turn your brain off and I know some people have fun with these Jurassic sequels when it comes to if you're just looking for the movie about dinosaurs eating people. I totally get that. You know, like Jurassic Park 3, I have fun with that, even though I know it's not like very good or great, and it's not. There's a lot of problems with that movie. But that movie knows what it is. It's a B monster movie. This movie, I just like the last two. I just really didn't like it, and it just didn't land for me personally. So yeah, I wasn't a fan of Jurassic World Rebirth, so I wouldn't recommend a movie personally. But like I said, I've seen some people who had fun with this movie, so you might be entertained by this Jurassic film. But for me personally, I think after this and last year, I'm just not really excited for any Jurassic films after this anymore. Unless I like one comes out and I hear really good things about it, I just feel like this franchise to me, the first one was great. Everything after that is just kind of like either okay or Jurassic World 3 was like a guilty pleasure movie or terrible like the last three. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend Jurassic World Rebirth. That's my thoughts on the new Jurassic film. Until next time, movie fans.